O'Donnell on Capitol Hill, Joyce Vance, former U.S. attorney and an MSNBC contributor, Matt Miller, former chief spokesperson to Attorney General Eric Holder, and an MSNBC justice and security analyst, USA Today Washington bureau chief Susan Page, and Washington Post political reporter Eugene Scott. Peter Alexander, first to you. It does appear that this was pre-planned. They had the posters all planned. He has been tweeting all night and all morning about the Democratic investigations. He said that he came into the Rose Garden because Nancy Pelosi accused him of a cover-up.
Yeah, there may have been some degree of planning, obviously, Andrea, because we were handed these as we exited the Rose Garden. This was basically one of the signs that was on the podium in front of the president today. I'm struck by a couple things as we hear from him. The key soundbite from President Trump today was, "I don't do cover-ups," which, of course, ignores the facts that he had involvement with a series of hush money payments to a former playmate and to a porn star to try to buy their silence over the course of the 2016 campaign. It also reminds me of what we heard from this president in that first news conference the day after the midterm election, Andrea, where he was pressed what he would do if Democrats pursued investigations. He said, in effect, if they do that, for us, it would be a warlike posture. This is, from President Trump, a warlike posture, but it's also a bookend in many ways, because you remember in late last year where there was that contentious visit with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in the Oval Office with the president, where he said basically he would take the blame. He would be the one responsible for a shutdown on the issue of border security. Well, today, basically, he said, I'm willing to say we're not going anywhere on infrastructure so long as the Democrats won't move forward and get over it in terms of their investigations. The Democrats trying to make hay with that, trying to capitalize on that today. And the soundbite that everyone's going to be talking about as it relates to the Democrats was Nancy Pelosi saying at the end of her remarks, "I pray for the President of the United States. I pray for the country."
Indeed. And Peter Alexander, when you talk about I don't do cover-ups, there's also the fact that he has been refusing to let his current and former aides testify, refusing to turn over documents that have been demanded, including the tax returns, which are arguably under a real legal mandate, and more on that to come, and also refusing to grant an interview to Robert Mueller, which plays into all of that, right?
You're exactly right. He consistently says that he's been the most transparent president of all. He didn't sit down with Robert Mueller, even though Mueller desired that, requested that to happen. Instead, he provided written answers. He said they were out to get us. And about this claim he's made repeatedly about this effort to investigate the investigators, where he's even referred to some of those investigators as treasonous, saying they committed treason. When that Rose Garden event was over, I yelled to him a couple of questions that he ignored. One was, if you've been cleared, why not let Robert Mueller testify? He walked away. And separately, I asked him, as it related to this separate issue, I asked him broadly about, you know what, I got to remember exactly what the second question. I was peppering him with a lot of questions right now.
I think it was whether or not he had read the Mueller report.
Question, whether he had read the Mueller report. That was another one of them that we asked him in that moment that he didn't answer. We also asked him who he was accusing. That's it. Who he specifically was accusing of treason. He said in his remarks that he hopes that it'll come out well, but he doesn't think so. So while he's claiming there was treason, he's acknowledging that he doesn't know.
What a morning for you guys.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.